Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to start out by saying Happy New Year and welcome to the very first City Week show of the 2018 year. And I'm honored to sit down with a former council person, Mrs. Norma Tucker. Norma, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning,
Well,
and
good morning
Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year to you as well, Norma. Look, we want to just start out by just kind of talking about your tenure on City Council. You have served the City of LaGrange and the citizens for 12 years.
Yes.
Let's just jump in and let's talk about a little bit what inspired you to run.
Woo. Well, I'll start way back when. I've always been interested in politics, if you will, even as a teenager. But it was after I came back home and I was sitting at work one day, and Reverend Ware and his daughter Gwen reached out to me and asked if I was interested in running for City Council. And I had just made up my mind the night before that I was about to leave LaGrange, and I was like, my son was young, and I said, wow, I need a job, a good paying job, a good guy to date or marry, and all the things that we hope for in life. Right. And I just felt that I wasn't getting it here. And so that next morning when I got the call from Gwen asking me if I was interested, I told her, I said, Gwen, this has to be God. I said, because you come to me with something near and dear to my heart. And I said, I'll think about it. So I thought about it. That was July 25th. And by qualifying time, qualifying was my grandmother's birthday. And I thought, you know what? God, thank you. And the rest is history, if you will. So,
12 years later.
Yeah,
here we are.
12 years later, and here we are. A new day.
A new day. And talking about a new day, Norma, you're the second female to sit on the City of LaGrange Council. Talk about that and what that has meant. Wow.
It was an honor for me hearing that I was following in the footsteps of Councilwoman Kay Duran. And everybody shared with me how powerful of a leader she was. And then when I got a chance to meet her, and she shared lots of encouragement and information and just support, that was awesome. And so to have her attend my last meeting last month, that was really great, and I thank her for the words that she shared with me then, the kind words.
Absolutely. Like you said, it was a strong lady as well as yourself coming back now, because most people, well, your family knows, and I know, military background.
Yes,
you say you were coming back to LaGrange.
Yes. After I graduated 100 years ago from the LaGrange High School, I left, moved to Atlanta for a couple of months with my older sister Bev, and stayed there till I left for the Navy that November, right after Thanksgiving. And oh my God, that was quite an experience. It's just like it was yesterday. I can remember each detail, leaving and arriving at Orlando, Florida for basic training, and going on to hospital corps school, pharmacy tech school, stationed at Rosie Rose, Puerto Rico, San Diego, Great Lakes, Bethesda, Maryland, all the great spots in the Navy, and finally retiring out the year before I ran for council with the Navy Reserves out of Columbus. Yeah, great career.
Well, as you reminisce about your military history and background and things of that nature, let's reminisce a little bit back into your years on the council. And we have things here that we want to get you to talk about in momentarily. But talk about one of the high points for you. Is there a high point for you as you have served on the council?
Well, the entire 12 years have been high points. I'm fortunate to be able to say that, because when I came on board, shortly after, we started doing things with the parks. We were able to get support from SPLOST funds and get playground equipment replaced, because I have met with families and kids who have been injured by some of that old, outdated equipment that was damaged. So we started a campaign, Sunshine for Kids campaign, to raise funds and raise awareness of the need for this equipment to be replaced. And before we could do much, we got notification that SPLOST funds were available, and they were replacing the equipment not only on the 4 playgrounds in our community that we had requested, but also the playground in Hogansville. So we were thankful for that partnership with Parks and Recs, and happy to see the county come together and make those funds available and make that happen. I say that was a high point because it introduced me to a young lady whose niece, little Miss Ashley Bechet Farrell, had lost her life after playing near the park. And her aunt came to us and asked if we would honor Bechet's memory by naming the playground in her honor and her memory. So that was a very special memory and a high point for me, because we were able to make that happen, and to this very day that park and that playground bears her name. So that was a high point. Kia, of course, high point, the job opportunities, and now 10 years later, Kia, wow. Still here in the community. We're very fortunate. All the things that have happened, the new things that have happened, other community partnerships, man, I guess I should look to
I was going to say, you got your photo,
because it has. I'm looking at my first campaign card here that I would give out, and it had November 8th, 2005, elect LaGrange City Council District 2, elect Norma Tucker, a positive voice for positive change. And that campaign was a combination of our campaign support team coming together. And I remember the day Reverend Simpson, Alan Simpson, and a dear friend, Joanne Simpson, First Lady Simpson, they were part of my campaign team, along with Reverend Ware, Miss Redwine, my family, Jacob, Mom, my sisters, a dear friend, Priscilla Dunson Lee, and so many others, Donna Williams, Rick Gooden. These were people who got out and got my name out there and told me where I needed to be and how I needed to run the campaign. But Reverend Simpson came up, he put my words, a positive voice for positive change. He just kind of mixed everything up, and he said, that's your slogan, a positive voice for positive change in LaGrange. And I thought, hey, dynamic. So by the grace of God, it all worked. Then I've got the paper that shows me being sworn in by the attorney Jeff Todd. And oh man, to look at old photos and see the change in appearance. Lord, we won't talk about weight and all that, but the beauty of the experience. And the article mentions that I was sworn in as the first black woman to serve on council, second woman, first black woman to serve on council. So that was an honor and experience. And then the best part of it all has been being able to share this experience with my son and quite a few of his friends. So I've got some photos of him and his friends out and about enjoying things around town.
Like they're excited
and
there, aren't
yeah, they were celebrating the summer play program. I think it was communities and schools, and one of the kids had just won the free throw contest, and so they were cheering because their team had won. Then he was with me on several occasions as we celebrated the Feeding the Hungry with Jake Sessions, and I got lots of photos that I need to share with you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so you can see how we've changed. And then some of the other things in the community, like the stroke prevention team, the physicals that they did at local high schools, free of charge for the athletes. They did some education, and then watching Jacob grow up and go off to college and be involved in the mentor program, thanks to some of the support of the men of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity through the summer programs that y'all did allowed Jacob to participate in. And then football.
Absolutely.
Football photos. I'm off track,
That's okay.
But it's all about myself and Jacob. And then the last campaign in 2013, having Jacob there with me to campaign with me and celebrate the win. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Now, you know, there's so many we can reminisce, and you got a headpiece here from
it's
Kenya?
Actually a necklace
okay.
piece that the women, the women of Kenya, when we traveled during, it was a women empowerment project sponsored by the University of Georgia's project and funded totally by the U.S. State Department grant. And a group of 8 of us traveled to Kenya after a group of 14 women from Kenya traveled here to the state of Georgia, and they got a chance to tour cities like Savannah, Atlanta, Athens, and all over. They chose the City of LaGrange as their favorite site. We got the highest marks out of all the locations that they visited. And that's why I was honored to be able to be invited to travel to Kenya. And that's an experience of a lifetime that I'll never forget. And out of that, we had a ladies leadership luncheon here, and we invited community members, educators, women in leadership and elected office came and visited and celebrated and talked and rejoiced with the women from Kenya. And I mean, just sharing each other's stories, the women there sharing their stories and hearing our women share their stories with them. That was truly a special
As we close out with Norma, and we only have a few seconds here.
Yes.
Encourage that next lady, female, that may be listening to this and thinking about running, but say, well, I don't want. What words of encouragement would you give her?
The best thing I can say is stay actively involved. Volunteer, stay connected to the citizens in the community. That's one of the things that I said early on, that when I was elected as a member of the city council, it just put a title to the lifestyle that I was already living, because I felt that I had already been a volunteer serving in the community, and that's just always been what I was doing. So I say to any woman who has ever thought about running for elected office, do it. Don't hesitate, do it. If you need advice, I'm always willing to share and encourage other women. And we had several women this time that I had spoken with and met with over and over, but they decided for whatever reason now wasn't the time for them to run for local office.
I'm going to tell you, it's a pleasure to sit down with you. Our time just gets away from us, Norma.
I know, and thank you so much for this opportunity, Alton.
Thank you for the years of service to our citizens of LaGrange. And by all means, you know, we have an open door policy. Always come back to visit us and definitely ask questions. And
thank you.
Thank you for the years of Norma.
Thank you so much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment.
God bless.